The sun's story begins within a vast cold cloud of gas and dust. These cosmic nurseries, known as giant molecular clouds, are the birthplaces of stars. Imagine a cloud so large it could hold thousands of suns. Gravity is the architect of stars. It slowly draws the gas and dust in a giant molecular cloud together. As more material is pulled in, the cloud's core becomes incredibly dense. The temperature rises dramatically due to the immense pressure. This process can take millions of years. Eventually, the core reaches a critical temperature of about 10 million degrees Celsius. This intense heat triggers nuclear fusion, marking the birth of a star. Our very own sun embarked on this incredible journey billions of years ago. The sun's formation wasn't a solitary event. The collapsing cloud also gave rise to the planets, moons, and asteroids of our solar system. These celestial bodies formed from the leftover material swirling around the newborn sun. As the sun ignited, it blasted away the remaining gas and dust. This cleared the space around it and revealed our solar system as we know it. Deep within the sun's core, the temperature and pressure are unimaginable. Under these extreme conditions, hydrogen atoms are forced to fuse together. This process, called nuclear fusion, is the engine that powers the sun. In nuclear fusion, hydrogen atoms combine to form helium. This reaction releases an incredible amount of the energy in the form of light and heat. This energy radiates outwards from the sun's core, eventually reaching Earth as sunlight. The ignition of nuclear fusion was a pivotal moment in the sun's life. It marked the transition from a collapsing cloud of gas to a true star. As the sun ignited, it created a powerful solar wind. This stream of charged particles pushed outwards, shaping the early solar system. The solar wind cleared away much of the remaining gas and dust. This process played a crucial role in the formation of the planets. The solar system we see today is a testament to the power of nuclear fusion and the sun's influence. The sun is a giant ball of plasma, a superheated state of matter. At its core, temperatures reach 15 million degrees Celsius. This extreme heat is essential for nuclear fusion to occur. Hydrogen atoms, stripped of their electrons, are constantly colliding at incredible speeds. These collisions overcome the natural repulsion between the positively charged nuclei. When they fuse, a small amount of mass is converted into a tremendous amount of energy. This is the energy that powers the sun. The sun consumes approximately 600 million tons of hydrogen every second. Despite this enormous consumption, the sun has enough hydrogen to keep burning for billions of years. The energy released in the sun's core takes a long and winding journey to reach the surface. Photons, or particles of light, bounce around for thousands of years before finally escaping into space. This constant stream of energy from the sun is what sustains life on Earth. The sun exists in a delicate balance between two powerful forces, gravity and pressure. Gravity constantly tries to pull the sun's massive amount of matter inwards. This inward pull is countered by the outward pressure generated by nuclear fusion in the core. The outward pressure prevents the sun from collapsing under its own weight. This equilibrium is what keeps the sun stable. If gravity were to overpower the outward pressure, the sun would collapse. If the pressure were to overcome gravity, the sun would expand and dissipate. This delicate balance is maintained through a process called hydrostatic equilibrium. Any slight imbalance between gravity and pressure triggers adjustments within the sun. These adjustments restore equilibrium, ensuring the sun's continued stability. This delicate balance is essential for the sun's longevity and, by extension, the survival of life on Earth. Section 5. Solar storms, flares, eruptions, and their impact on Earth. The sun is not a quiet and passive star. It exhibits periods of intense activity, including solar flares and coronal mass ejections, or CMEs. Solar flares are sudden bursts of energy on the sun's surface. They release a tremendous amount of energy in the form of radiation and particles. CMEs are massive eruptions of plasma and magnetic fields from the sun's corona, its outermost layer. Both flares and CMEs can have significant impacts on Earth. Solar flares can disrupt radio communications and GPS systems. CMEs can trigger geomagnetic storms, which can damage satellites, disrupt power grids, and create stunning auroras. While these solar storms can be disruptive, they are also a reminder of the sun's power and dynamism. Scientists constantly monitor solar activity to predict and mitigate potential impacts on Earth. Understanding these events helps us prepare for and protect our technology from the sun's powerful outbursts. Section 6. The sun's reign, our star's stable phase, and its significance for life. The sun is currently in its main sequence, a long and stable period of its life cycle. During this phase, the sun will continue to fuse hydrogen into helium in its core. This stable phase is crucial for life on Earth. The sun's consistent energy output provides the light and heat necessary for life to thrive. The sun's gravity holds our planet in orbit, providing a stable environment for life to evolve. The sun's influence extends far beyond Earth. Its gravity governs the motions of all the planets in our solar system. The sun's energy shapes the environments of these planets and moons. The sun's stable phase is expected to last for another 5 billion years. This provides ample time for life on Earth to flourish and evolve. Our understanding of the sun's current state allows us to appreciate the delicate balance that makes life on Earth possible. It also allows us to study the sun and learn more about the processes that govern stars throughout the universe. Section 7. The red giant phase, the sun's dramatic transformation. While the sun is currently stable, it will not remain so forever. In about 5 billion years, the sun will begin to run out of hydrogen fuel in its core. This will mark the beginning of the sun's transformation into a red giant. As hydrogen in the core depletes, the outward pressure will decrease. Gravity will begin to take over, causing the core to contract and heat up. This heating will ignite hydrogen fusion in a shell around the core. The outer layers of the sun will expand dramatically, engulfing Mercury and Venus. During this red giant phase, the sun will become much larger and brighter than it is today. Earth will be scorched by the sun's intense heat. The oceans will boil away and the surface will become uninhabitable. This dramatic transformation will mark the end of Earth as we know it. Section 8. A white dwarf's embrace, the sun's final chapter. After its red giant phase, the sun will undergo a series of dramatic changes. It will shed its outer layers, creating a beautiful expanding shell of gas and dust called a planetary nebula. The remaining core of the sun will contract under its own gravity. This core, now incredibly dense and hot, is called a white dwarf. A white dwarf no longer produces energy through fusion. It shines faintly from the leftover heat from its earlier life. The white dwarf that remains of our sun will slowly cool over billions of years. It will eventually fade away, becoming a cold, dark object in the vastness of space. This marks the end of the sun's life cycle. However, even in death, the sun will leave behind a legacy. Section 9. Stellar rebirth, the sun's legacy and the cosmic cycle. Although our sun will eventually die, its death will not be the end of the story. The planetary nebula that the sun creates will contain the building blocks for new stars and planets. The elements forged in the sun's core, such as carbon, oxygen and nitrogen, will be scattered throughout space. These elements will eventually become part of new stars and planetary systems. The death of one star paves the way for the birth of countless others. The sun's death is just one chapter in the ongoing story of stellar evolution. The cycle of star birth, life and death is a fundamental process in the universe. It is a cycle that has been repeating for billions of years. And it is a cycle that will continue long after our sun has faded away. The atoms that make up our bodies were once part of stars that lived and died long ago. We are all connected to the cosmos through this incredible cycle of stellar evolution. Stellar